Hi everyone, you're welcome to Pentacle's live chat. Today we are going to be having a chat with Dr. Health More. I am Rose and I am privileged to be your host for today. So in a bit, Dr. Health and More will be joining us soon, and she'll be telling us about her journey and the peculiarities of the different pathways to study in the US, the UK, and in Canada. Okay, remember during the course of the session you can put down your questions. We'll answer them and anything you would like to know. I'm glad to have everyone here. I am Rose, 600 level medical student from University of Ilorin. Currently waiting for Dr. Health More. I'll be adding her right now and we'll be set to go.
Hello.
Hi ma'am, good evening.
Good evening.
It's very nice to have you here. Can I just say how happy I feel to be having this conversation with you? I've admired you from afar, right?
Thank
from
you.
As long as I can remember. So it feels great to be having this discussion with you right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all the time words.
Yes. So what can I address you as? Should I call you Dr. Health More or should I call you Dr. Rebecca?
Yeah, just call me Dr. Health More.
Okay. Yes. So Dr. Health More, I'd like to begin by thanking you for joining us on this Instagram live. I'm sure a lot of us. Oh, pleasure is all ours, man. Sure, a lot of people have questions for you. We've hoped for this opportunity, and we hope that this is going to be a fun chat. So, yes. Well, we're still waiting for more people to join, but we'll begin and hope that as we continue, more people will join us. All right, man. Great. So, without further ado, I'd like you to start by introducing yourself. Who is Dr. Health More?
Okay. My name is Rebecca Omokaro Okolo. I'm married with 2 kids. Studied in Benejo University, finished in 2012. Started Health More in 2015. And
wow.
Well, here we are today.
That's great. 2015. That's a long time, and for you to have continued it up till now, like bravo for continuity. Thank you so much. So why did you start Health More? What was going on in your mind then? Why did you start this?
Okay, actually I started Health More then because I wasn't doing anything at that time. Yeah, I was kind of on a vacation then, and I thought to myself, I've never been the type to stay idle, so I looked around me. The only thing I had was the internet, so I was like, okay. Since I have just the internet, what can I do with it? Okay, let's start blogging. So I looked at it like, I can't do gossip blogging. I'm a medical doctor. Why don't I do something online in my field, which is medical blogging? So that's how I started.
Okay. Oh, that's great. And you mentioned vacation. So when you say vacation, is this a fancy term for the 1 year break where your school wasn't accredited? Is this what you mean, or was this after medical school?
I was actually engaged, right? So I went to visit my husband in 2015 in Canada. So when I was in house, there was nothing for me to do. So I just started it. That was February 2015.
Okay. Well, we never know where we get inspiration from.
Right.
Okay. So, you posted a video last week and where you listed out this whole bunch of exams that you had taken, and like everyone that saw that video was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" I remember I saw a tweet quoting it, and someone was like, "Na fight." So I just like to know why. I mean, the responses to the video, they were hilarious actually, and everyone was wondering. I'm sure everyone is wondering why did you take so many exams? What was going on?
Okay, actually, I started with the Canadian exams, right? So when I started with the Canadian exams, I found out that Canada kind of was very difficult to get into. So I started looking at my options, like, let's look at the UK, let's look at the US. And when I started, after the EE, right, I started looking at US. Then after a while, I was like, okay, I don't want to get to a certain point in my career and realize, okay, I think the UK would be a good choice. Let me go write the PLAB. And because reading can be very, very difficult. I had a baby, right? So I would read at night. So I was like, okay, just do everything and be done. So I would not have to look back and say, okay, let's go and do the PLAB. Okay, let's go and do the USMLE. So I just did it and I was like, okay, I'm done, right? So if I need the USMLE at any point, I can pick that up. If I need the PLAB at any point, I can pick that up. That was just what I was thinking, just for my options.
Oh, wow. I mean, I'd say because currently a lot of people have to make a decision. They have to choose between PLAB or the US exams or the Canadian exams, and like a lot of people really don't have the luxury to be able to take everything and have like 3 exams to fall back on. So that's quite a feat you pulled off, I must say. Okay, so you said you began with. No, you're welcome. Yes. So you began with Canada, and eventually you decided to do the UK and the US exams, right? Okay, so
yes.
how were you able to do all of that within 5 years? Because I know for the US, some people spend an average of say a year to 2 years writing all the exams, and you wrote all of these exams in 5 years. How did you do that?
I actually started in 2017 with the NCCEE, right? So in 2017, I did about 3 exams. I did the EE, I did the step 1, then I did the NACOSC in 2017. Then 2018, I'm a very, very determined person. So I wanted to be done with my exam in 2018, and it happened that I got pregnant. So I was like, oh my God, now I'm going to have 2 kids. I have to finish all these exams before the second baby came up. Well, man proposes, God disposes. It actually happened that I looked at the story, but the exams actually spilled into 2019 and 2020, even 2020, right? The point, I've forgotten what you were saying. Please remind me of the question.
Oh, I was asking how you were able to do all of those within 5 years. All of those exams within 5 years.
Okay. The thing you have to understand is the exams are related. There is no big deal in these exams. How I was inspired to do my USMLE was talking with a Nigerian doctor in the US, Dr. Obina, and I was asking him, Doctor, how was your journey with the USMLE? And he told me, I finished the USMLE in 1 year. I was like, wow, you finished it in 1 year. And he said something important. He said, he has seen people do the exams, they have just one head. And he looked at himself too and said, I have one head. I was like, okay, yeah, me too, I have one head. So all of us have one head. So it's all about, if there's nothing extraordinary about the exams. I keep telling people it's all about strategy. It's all about focus, determination. If you say you're going to do it, you will do it. I don't look at myself as a genius. As I said, I'm an average medical student from Nigeria. It's all about you making up your mind, like, I'm going to do this thing and I will do it. Throughout the course of my exams, all the MCQs, I never went to the library. I studied on my bed most of the time. I wasn't even, So I went for a tutorial at one point because I really, really needed direction, right? But the point is, I really want to tell everybody that there is nothing special about the exams. Don't let anybody scare you into, it's nothing.
Okay. So some take homes from what you've said now is that determination is important. Like, you need to set that this is what you want to do and this is how long I want to do it. It's also very important for us to speak with people who have also, gone on this path so that we can have like direction for everything. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, which one of these exams would you say was the most challenging? I mean, you did all of them. So, which one would you say?
I really struggled with my PLAB too, because I said I'm making a video about some of my experiences. So the first part of the video I just talked about how I struggled with PLAB too. It was different from the North American setting because Canada and the United States, they see themselves as kind of one family. So the way they do things in North America is different from in the UK. So there was certain terminology using in the UK that was different from what I was used to in Canada. And I couldn't go for the academy because I had 2 kids. I was even breastfeeding when I was trying to go for my PLAB. My baby stopped breastfeeding because of all the stress I was going through at that time. So I struggle with my Black too. I really, really struggle with my Black too. Then I struggle with the LMCC as well in Canada, because the LMCC, the security is taken by Canadian residents in training. So when you're going for the exam, you're competing with Canadian residents in training.
That's crazy.
I struggle with that too. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, so financially, which of the exams would you say was most challenging or had
Canadian exams are easy.
Oh wow. I mean, I would.
Canadian exams are so bad that after I wrote my EP, that exam was I don't know. For me, I would say it's Canada. Canada charges so much for their exams compared to other countries. Even when you go for the exam, in terms of food, oh my god, when I went for my years and they gave me food, I was 3 minutes the exam, like, look at food.
Oh, were you
for the Canadian hospital, they're just giving you one small thing.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I had lots of break in the step 2 CS with lots and lots of food. Like after like every 4 stations, they'll just bring out we have snacks. Then at one time we went for lunch and they brought out pasta, and I was like, food.
Wow. We hope that our Nigerian colleges will start that. Really, it's a recommendation I'm taking to them. I mean, we have long exams for is food.
No, food is not too much. Food is not too much. Oh my god. Let's not go there. I just kept telling someone that day, like, are you serious? Is this food? That was all I took home from step 2 CS. There was just too much food. I ate. I had fun.
I am seriously taking this recommendation back to my college. Thank you for this. Thank you. I'm writing it down now. Okay, so eventually you chose Canada. So why did you choose Canada? I mean, you wrote all the exams, you passed all the exams. What was it in Canada that made you decide to stay?
I got my permanent residency in Canada, right? So it's most comfortable for me. But I didn't exactly say I chose Canada. If you notice, my video is kind of big. I just said I got residency. So
that's true.
That later, as time goes on.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's would you like to tell us what specialty your residency is, or is that also in a big review later?
In the review later.
Okay. We are going to be expecting that. So I'm sure there was a lot of traveling involved during those 5 years. So how did you do that? Especially with the finances. Were you working then? How were you able to fund all of these exams? The travel fees, accommodation, also your kids. Did you travel with your kids?
No, I didn't. There was a time when I went for my US clinical experience. I went with my daughter. I was pregnant with the second one. Then in terms of finances, like my family was a very, very huge support for me. Everybody came around me. Even the times when I struggled, I'll share that. I didn't exactly pass all those exams at one sitting, right? So that's just a teaser. But I'm not coming out to say it. So later on, as I keep talking about my, I'll see what happens. So through my journey, my family supported me. Everybody pulled around me. Gave me the
Yes, I think that it's really important to have all the support that we can get, especially when we're writing this kind of exams that, task us financially, mentally, physically. All the support, it's so important. It can't be, overemphasized. So thank you for that. Tell us a bit about Progenie Cerebrum. I mean, I followed the page and I've seen some posts from Progenie Cerebrum. I know that you're the co-founder of Progenie Cerebrum. So tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so what happened is that when I was
I can't see you, so is there an issue with your camera?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay, alright, now you can see me. So,
yes.
When I was in medical school, I was very reserved. I didn't really talk much, so I really didn't have access to information. There was no medical doctor in my family, nobody to give me information. So I kind of stumbled through medical school. My mom was the one acting like my own mentor, even though she wasn't a medical doctor, right? So I and Dr. Mims, we just came together. We just decided like there must be so many people out there facing the same situation. Why don't we also reach back? You know, that's why we say the slogan for Progenie Cerebrum is children of the brain, each one reach one. So like if you've been touched, you should try and reach back and touch someone else. So for all the medical students that don't have someone to talk to, that need support to get through medical school, through their career, that's why Progenie Cerebrum was created.
Oh, thank you so much. I think I speak for all of the medical students when we say that this is much needed, because a lot of people go in blindly, you know, we just make decisions. We don't really have all of the information. So thank you. Well, you mentioned that you started this with Dr. Mims.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I said that. Yeah, yes. I've asked Dr. Mims. She's the little human doctor, the best one right now on the internet.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Mims. I think she's here with us. So thank you so much on behalf of all of the medical students. Thank you for deciding to, you know, give back to all of us. I'd like you to just tell us a bit about your medical school experience. I mean, I read something on your Twitter page. You told us a bit about it, but you know, some people haven't read that, and it's quite the story, I must say. So just tell us a bit about that.
Oh my goodness. Medical school was like one of the absolute worst times of my life. Like in terms of the emotional trauma I went through, it was just too much. Basically, I got into medical school in 2003. I entered in 2012 November. That's about 9 years. Then after the 9 years I had spent in school, we were told to go to Obafemi Awolowo University in 2013. So we spent about 4 months there just to get our license. So in all, we spent about 9 years, 6 months. I and my colleagues in school, right? We spent like 9 years, 6 months to get our license. And we were in a private school, right?
Oh, wow.
We paid tuition for all those years. So that was in Inejo University, and that wasn't little tuition.
Including the extra years, like the years where they made you wait because of accreditation, you paid for that? Whoa!
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a lot of money. Like, I feel some kind of heat already.
Oh my God, yes. I felt that heat then. I cried. Oh my God, I got to know God in a way that I will never forget him again. That was a very dark time.
Oh God. Wow. So during all the time where you had to wait and you weren't sure what was going to happen, you know, what did you do? How did you keep yourself busy?
Okay, as I said earlier, I'm someone that I like being busy. I love working hard. It's something I like doing. But you see, those months when I finished my final exam in April, and I had to wait till January 2013 to write my MTCN exams, I didn't do anything. I just spent my whole time crying, asking God, why me? Why are you punishing me? Why do you hate me? Why did you pick me out for this type of struggle? I was so close to lose my mind. And in that time when I almost lost my mind, I really got to God that it doesn't matter what you're passing through in life, God is there. He's counting all your tears. He's putting them in his bottle. He's going to give you beauty for ashes. So I learned so much about God. Most of the memory verses I know today are from that dark period. And I'm grateful. I'm like, so you mean I didn't have never really been to study my Bible the way I did then. The trauma. Someone said trauma. The trauma was too much. Only God could help me. Like I encountered God personally in that period because he knew that if he didn't show up, someone was going to die.
Yeah, I think that. Well, thank God you didn't die. I mean, thank God. So I think that it's important. From what you said, it's important to kind of just have something to hold on to, kind of like a belief system, whatever you believe in, you know, just to kind of just give you that hope, even when we're in our darkest of times. So thank you for sharing that. I mean, yes. So how would you comparing the medical education over there to the Nigerian medical education? I mean, you've seen to an extent, you've seen how it can be across board in other places. How would you say the medical education there is different from the medical education in Nigeria? I mean, the relationship with our consultants and our professors. Would you cite any differences, even from your experience from when you've been working? How's your relationship with the students and all of that?
I would say that Nigeria, as we all know, in Nigeria we have the bullying culture. Students we bully the rest, we bully everybody. There's nothing like that here, right? You have to.
There's hierarchy in medicine.
Communication. So the medical communication, you have to know how to talk to patients. So that's why if you're coming to the North American setting and you're going to do the OSCE and you do not know about medical communication, you're really going to struggle. And even in the UK, if you don't know medical communication, how to relate, how to talk, how to have build rapport with your patients, you will struggle in the OSCEs. So that is something I had to learn. So basically, there's a way you should talk to people. You will have to be nice. You have to be kind. Yes.
Okay. Well, really, thank you for that, because I think that's something we need to learn extra. Because, I mean, we always complain about how there's so much bullying. I mean, and a lot of us become residents and we do the same to the medical students. So I hope that in the nearest future, that culture of bullying stops. We can only pray. Really, it's someone said Godwin. It's really a Godwin thing. Okay, so currently, how would you say how is residency like for you? I mean, where you are, we're still hoping to hear from it in the big review, but is it everything you hoped it would be? How's it been so far?
No, I haven't started yet. I was started, yes. I haven't started, and so there's a lot going on right now, so I haven't started. Yeah.
Okay. So apart from giving us tips as medical students, what other aspects does your blog focus on? Because I know you post a lot of trivia and med tunes on the internet and explain these things. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, when I started Health Then More, I really wanted to connect medics. I wanted to be team. But I'll publicly say the response wasn't so good. It wasn't encouraging. Most of the videos I used to put out, like Meet the Medics, it would take like 2 hours to create just for someone, and I wasn't getting response. There was no feedback. I was putting so much effort with little results. So I was like, okay, I think I need to stop. Because madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So right now I'm focusing on me. I'm building myself. Since if I'm building others, there's no response. I would like to build myself. Then that's it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I mean, if you don't build yourself enough, I mean, if you only give what you have, right? So I mean, you have to just get enough for yourself to be able to help all of us. So self-care is really important. Yeah. So this is to the viewers watching. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. I would read them to Dr. Health Then More. For now, we already got some questions, so I'll be reading them to you. But if anyone else has any question, please put it in the chat. So a question we got was, when do we start? When can we take these exams? And for the peculiarities of age, can we start them in med school? When is the best time to start it? Is it after med school, during house job, after house job, for each exam? And the peculiarities. So when do we start this?
The first exam, I would say USMLE. You can.
Okay.
You can start the USMLE in school. So I advise everyone, like, the things I know now, I wish I knew them then, right? So you see about the USMLE, right?
Okay.
When you're applying for residency, they'll tell you they're looking for people within 5 years of graduation. Are you getting me? So it's not like they don't take people that
yes,
have 5 years, right? But you have a much better chance if you are within 5 years, you're within 3 years. So the best time to start write your USMLE, maybe when you're in part of farm, you can take part 1, then you can take part 2. So by the time you're finishing medical school, you are done with your exams, you're just applying straight into residency in the US. Your chances are very, very good. Very good. But if you're waiting for, let me graduate, then I'll go and write USMLE, you'll just find out that you're just stuck. Just try to start that. But for the PLAB, you can't write it till you're done with medical school, so you have to wait. So then for the Canadian exam, I'm not too sure if you can start in medical school, but I know that you can write it in 80 countries around the world, and I always recommend that before you come to Canada as a permanent resident, start writing those exams back home. Like, don't come to Canada then say, okay, now I want to start reading for QA1. 1 year will pass, and then when 1 year passes, they tell you, your recency is out of date, you go back home. So why don't you start back home, then you come to Canada, you do the clinicals, if possible, even go back home and continue practicing. That's my advice.
Okay. You mentioned that the USMLE, we should take them all before we are done with med school, but the peculiarities of medical education in Nigeria, I mean, we almost don't even have time for anything else. It's crazy, really. So how would you suggest to combine studying for USMLE and studying in school, with our very bulky curriculum and little time? How do we do that?
You see, those students that are in 300 level should take part 1. If you're in 300 level, take part 1, because you're reading anatomy, biochemistry, physiology, which is kind of similar to the USMLE step 1. So it's not different from what you're going to do in class. You will just go and get the U-World and practice with the U-World. You will even see that your scores in class will improve, right? So if let's say you have 1 year, you're like, okay, this is 300 level, I want to write step 1. If you dedicate 3 hours in a week to doing blocks of questions, you will be done. I'm telling you, you will be done. So take your step 1, probably 300 level, 400 level, in 1 year. 1 year is more than enough. I've told you people take these exams. That's part 1, part 2, CKCS, everything in 1 year. So if you use a whole year just for step 1, I think it's okay. Doing just 1 block, maybe a week. That means in a day you can do 5 questions. Another day you do 5 questions. That's how you'll just be moving, and it will just be flowing for you.
Okay. Well, I think that the medical students who are in, say, 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, 400, this is great advice for them. But I would say the majority of people here are probably final year students or medical students in their penultimate years. So we're already past that. So for us now, when do we start this process? During house job, after house job? There's also the question of NYSC. A lot of people are asking, should we take NYSC? Should we not take NYSC? Is it important? Can we let go of that 1 year?
For Canada, all Canada needs is 1 year of experience. It doesn't include NYSC. So with your age, when you're applying for the permanent residency, because you can't practice in Canada as a doctor without your permanent residency. So if you take the you must do your house job, right? Because you need at least 1 year of experience. So couple that 1 year experience with your age, and you do good on your English test, you'll be able to get the permanent residency with ease in Canada, right? You don't have to do NYSC, but you must do house job. Yes.
Okay. So for all of the exams, house job is a requirement for all the exams.
Not except USMLE, right? Except USMLE.
Okay. Except USMLE. Okay. Okay, so there's always been this argument of whether especially for the USMLE exams, whether NYSC is important, you know, to boost your CV. You know, a lot of these hospitals, when they call you up for interviews, they want to see your CV. So a lot of people say it's a waste of time. And you know, you mentioned the 5-year clause. So from your experience, what would you say? Do you advise people to stay back that 1 year and do NYSC?
If you're planning to go to the US, I would say don't, because they are looking at you. You're a fresh graduate. They are looking at, oh, this person is fresh. Don't forget that the residency, as the American medical students, right? They are just leaving school.
Yeah.
Entering residency is house job for them. It's just that they made their house job with the entire residency process, unlike Nigeria, where you see it's house job from the rest. So look at it, they are fresh. Why can't you also be fresh and join them? So you don't need to kind of build a very big resume. You are looking at your year of graduation. It's when your year of graduation is maybe out of the 5 years. They're not like, okay, what did you do in those 5 years? What did you achieve? But if you're just a fresh graduate, you have a better chance. So that's what I'm saying. Try and do these exams as close to your year of graduation as possible, so you can apply with ease and not have to start explaining, I need to do this, that. So for me, I don't think the NYSC is more important when you are leaving a long gap in there, right? But if you are just doing your house job, your graduate house job, you should be okay.
Okay, another question we have is about the expenses of this exam. So can you tell us a little about these expenses? You know, just an approximate value of how much each of these exams cost.
Okay, approximately, I think the step 1 was about $890. Step 2 was about $890. I think step 1, 2, and 3 were about the same amount. But the step 2 CS clinical exams are always more expensive than multiple choice questions, right? So those clinical exams are always in the range of $1,500. If you convert even the flap 2 into dollars, it's about $1,500.
Okay. Wow.
So then Canadian exams are really expensive. Like the EE was cancelled. That exam was about $1,740. The QE one is about $1,100. The thing is, anything that has to do with international medical graduates, they charge more. Right? Then when it comes to their students, they kind of make it cheaper. Yeah.
Right.
So the NACOS costs more than the QE, so which shouldn't be, right?
Yeah, actually, no. Another question we have is how easy is it to get into this is from Doc On Hawaii. How easy is it to get into Canadian residency? We hear rumors of 5 to 6 years to be licensed, and then you can only practice as a GP. So that's her question.
Okay, Canadian residency is really tough. Right now, the way I look at things, they are only taking people that have finished residency in another country. Like you have to have, you're already a specialist, then you're now deciding to come here again to do another residency. So most international medical graduates go through the practice ready assessment, meaning you should have at least 2 to 3 years experience back home. If you do that and you've passed your QE1, when you're coming here, you're kind of going to get into the system. It's better than you waiting for residency.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Another question we have is concerning residency placement in the US. Are there specialties that are harder or impossible to get into? This is from Jachi Mwabara. Okay.
Well, there are some specialties that are very competitive, like dermatology, general surgery, but some IMGs get into them, right? It all depends on who is writing your letter of recommendation, who you know, you know. So there's nothing like impossible. If it was impossible, there would be nobody in there. So people are getting in there. So if you're going to, let's say you want a competitive specialty, you have to make sure that when you're doing your clinical experience, it's in that field. Let's say you can't be doing family medicine clinical experience. Then when you want to apply for residency, you apply for general surgery. They're like, if you don't have surgery experience, how go for sure, like doesn't work like that. So it depends on writing your letters, your experience, so many factors. And little tip, right? A long time ago, I messaged this IMG and I was like, look, and I talked to her and she said, you should go for conferences. That's where you're going to meet the program directors, It's a little funny story. So connections are very important.
Okay. So for the US, it's important to have connections. You need these people to write your letter of recommendations. I think the word is networking. It's important to have a great network to be able to help you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much for that. Another question is, does writing papers help in residency allocation? This is from IK Ebengo. Does writing papers help in residency allocation?
Definitely.
So even our research work as undergrads have an advantage?
It has to be published.
Okay.
That's published. It's not.
Thank you for that. Another question is it possible to skip house job if you're going to the US? Will it be advised? I think you already addressed this. House job is important for all the exams apart from the US licensing exams, right?
The closer you are to graduation, you can't be like 5 years post-grad and you don't even have house job. It's very weird. So it depends on how close you are to your graduation.
Yeah, thank you. Another question is, what are your views on a master's degree before residency?
It's very good. The US, from what I gather, they really love the masters in public health. Yeah, they've always asked what your research about. So yeah, it's very helpful in the US.
Okay, so would you say during the period of preparation you can prepare for this exam and also try to get an MPH during that time?
Of course, you can do
or so any other master's program.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can do anything.
Thank you. Then which determination? I mean, that was the first thing we started on. You have to be determined to be able to do all of these things. Okay, so we're just going to take some more questions. A lot of people in the chat, when you talk about the money, there's a lot of comments about the price and the cost of all these things. So another question is there's a lot of people say you should go into all these academies. We have Kaplan Academy and we have the 10G Academy, and there's a lot of academies for PLAB and also for the Canadian exams too. So what do you think about these academies? Are they important? Especially if you want to do these exams within 1 year, would you say these academies would help towards that goal?
You know why I'm laughing? I have my own academy, so I will not comment on anybody's academy.
Okay, of course.
So if you need help,
yes, please tell us about that.
You can. Yes, I start after finishing all my exams, right? So I started with Dr. Health Denmore tutorials, where I will be sharing my own strategy, right? So when you're reading for an exam, you should know that you have to develop a way of thinking, you have to develop a strategy to answering your questions. And I've formed mine, right? So if you join my own tutorials, you won't have to start figuring things out by yourself from scratch. I'll just show you, this is how you should do it. It's like when you buy pre-made soup, instead of you to start cooking from scratch, someone just says, okay, this is it, just add a little hot water and boil for 5 minutes. That's how my tutorials are. Like,
that's this is kind of soup.
Now you just add your hot water and everything will come out nicely.
Okay, so Dr. Health Denmore tutorials, guys. If you need any help, so how do we contact you? How do we reach Dr. Health Denmore tutorials?
Okay, if you check on my profile, I have my link tree. Everything is there. My website is there. You can register on the website. Then I have my contact details, the email and the phone number are in my bio. You can also reach me through that on WhatsApp, mobile call, text message. You can contact me. Okay,
thank you so much for this.
Sorry, I do have a team of doctors. sorry, I'm not the only one taking all the classes, right? So in every country, like in the UK, in Canada, people that have passed these exams, because I didn't do these exams alone. I had to network. So I got to meet people who have also passed. So they are part of the team and they will be sharing their knowledge with you in the class. This is how to go about it. So they give you the pre-made soup, then you just add your extras.
So guys, you heard her. If you want any of the pre-made soup for your exams, please go to her IG page or any of her socials, Dr. Health and More Tutorial. Reach out to them and they can guide you through everything. Okay, so we'll go. It's possible I might have missed a couple of questions. This is for our audience. If I haven't asked your questions, please ask them again. I might have missed them with the chat. So another question is does the licensing board of all of these countries, do they take your results in med school into consideration when selecting applicants for residency programs?
The only place they consider that is the US. They call it the Medical School Performance Report, but it's not like any big deal. Like my school just said she did great, she did repeat. Like it's not a big deal. They don't start saying she got 60%, she got 40%. It's just she did repeat.
Thank God for that.
Yes.
Okay, so we also have another question. Does it get lonely without a lot of friends and family members over there? Do you have a lot of family there?
Well, for me, I'm kind of a loner, right? I enjoy my company so much. Like I think this suits me so much to be alone, so I don't really miss much.
Okay, thank you. Someone is asking if the tutorials are free. If the pre-made soup is free.
Actually, right, the thing is, it's not like I can't do it for free, but it's a 2-week program where I have to set aside a particular time. I have 2 kids, so I'm going to leave my kids and then start saying, okay, this is how we approach the question, this is what you look for. So I need to get paid for my time. I wouldn't be able to do that for free. But if you need any advice, we have Progenie Cerebrum. We meet once a month. If you are struggling with anything, register. It's free of Progenie Cerebrum. You can call me for free tips once a month. That's the best I can do.
Okay. Thank you so much. So guys, Progenie Cerebrum, they have meetings once a month. Don't forget that. And you can ask her whatever you want. So you can cash in on that if you're looking for free stuff. Okay, so we're seeing people are really asking about your residency program. Guys, she's going to reveal that in the future. In her later videos, we are going to have a big reveal on where she's working and what specialty she's in. So, anticipate. Okay, let's see. We're checking for more questions. Somebody is asking if you have any advice on how to study for USMLE or CLAB during this period. I'm assuming by this period you mean with the whole social distancing and coronavirus. I hope so. I think that's the question.
So how you study? This is how I study. This is my something I like to do. I look at my time, the time I want to write the exam, or the time I intend to write the exam. Then I look at the material I need to study before that time. Okay, let's assume it's 200 pages and I have 200 days. That means I should study. It was breaking. I didn't know if you got what I was saying. So you have to set a target.
Yes.
Like, if I'm going to take the step 1, what are the things I need to know? Okay, I need to read first aid. I need to do U-World. Now, in these 200 days, how am I going to be able to cover all of this? Then you say, okay, I need to read 30 pages of first aid a day. I need to read 40 questions a day. That is the way to go. But if you're just sitting down, just opening your book like it's an accident, you made the book, you will find out that you're always not on point, you're not on target, you're just roaming about the issue.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question we have is, as a permanent resident, does the hospital pay for accommodation?
I don't think so. No, there will be. I think they are called. You will not get accommodation like allowance like that, like free accommodation. Yeah.
Okay. Someone is asking how to contact Progenie. Oh, okay, that's fine. Thank you so much.
Let me type the name on.
Okay.
Let me type it out. So it's at Progenie. So it's a free mentorship community. We have different mentors there that you can ask questions once a month. Yeah. So you can. That is the you can do. You have a website. You can register there. There is no fee for it. It's just part of giving back. Like being appreciating what God has done for us. Yes.
Thank you so much for that. Guys, if I haven't asked your question, it's probably because it has been answered at the beginning or sometime during this live. This live session is going to be up on Pentacle's page, so you can always go back and watch to get these answers. Okay, so another question we have is do I have to travel between Nigeria and Canada to write all of the Canadian exams?
So for the UK, for the US, and for Canada, most countries, right, you can do the multiple choice question outside that country. But when it comes to the clinical skills, that's the Plateau, the Step 2 CS, the NACOSKI, the QE2, you can only do it in that country. So that's the only time you need to travel.
Okay. Thank you so much. I hope the person who asked the question, I hope you heard that. We also have a question about bad grades preventing one from studying in the US. Okay, I think this is a follow-up to when you said the US sometimes gets your grades. So she's asking if
I didn't say they get a bad. That's for a medical school performance report. It's just like a general statement about you, like how we're in school. It's not like what was it's not a transcript. It's just like a comment, like did you feel cool? Did you this? No, not. It's not a transcript.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Another question is, now that the USMLE is pass or fail, what is your advice for the undergraduates? Does your score matter? Like, what does this mean, for the exams going forward? The change in the system of the exams.
Okay. I actually think it's good news. So, like, the step 1 has been the limiting step for many people. Like, you didn't get the certain score, you should not be in there. But now that it's pass or fail, I really think it's a good thing. It's just like the Step 2 CS. The Step 2 CS is pass or fail. Unlike Canada, where the NACOS is by marks. So pass or fail, you passed. If you got 88, I got 100. We both passed. Pass is pass.
I mean, it's both it's down to how we always say, let's just get our 50. I passed, you passed. What does it matter?
Exactly. Yeah, pass is pass. Because I noticed something when we travel out of Nigeria, we are all looking at, we want to get exceptional scores, but we should understand that the pass mark was created for a reason, meaning that anyone that gets that is qualified to, like, it's good enough for the test. So you got 80, I got 100. We both passed. You're the one thinking you're better than me. We both have the same opportunity. So I think the pass is a good thing. Let's see. You got 50, I got 60. It didn't matter in medical school. It never mattered. We are both moving to the next level.
Yep. I passed, you passed, Another question is, what are the best letters of recommendation to get for the American boards, and how do we get them? I think we talked about this during the networking part, but if you could shed some light on it again.
Yes, the best letters will be gotten from people in hospitals. That means try and go to a hospital. Don't go to a clinic. So go to a hospital, because it's in the hospital you meet with the people running the show. So a letter from the people running the show will be better from those at the door. That's how it is. So better to get the best letter gotten in the hospital or the clinics. Yes.
Okay. So I mean, it's almost time for us to round up, but I want to ask you to just tell us, for each exam, what are the peculiarities? I mean, something that, you wish you had known when you were writing these exams, for people who want to take these exams, things I wish I knew. Can you just tell us the peculiarities of each exam? Like the important parts of each exam that you feel are necessary to know.
Okay, for the things that we might find different as being Nigerians is that in the multiple choice questions, there will be ethical questions. Those ethical questions are, for example, in Canada, it's like in 2 bands. They call it professional behavior and forgotten the second part, communication, something like that. Like they put a lot of value on communication here, a lot. So you will find ethical questions. You need to know your ethics. You need to know your communication. So even in the US CMLE, there's ethics. In Canada, there is ethics. You have to know that. Then in the OSCE, if you want to pass your OSCE, you don't want to struggle. It's not really about knowledge over here when it comes to OSCEs. It's more of how do you make your patient feel? How do you communicate? What is your communication style? So those are the things you know. You don't just come and start doing the OSCE style. What is your name? Why are you here? Is it your neck? Tell me where it is. So there's a way you have to talk. So tell me more about the pain. I can see you're bothered today. Can you share what's going on in your mind? I'd really like to help. I'm your doctor. I'm only here to help you. So there's a way you talk that you instill confidence and make the patient confide in you. It's not just tell me why you're here.
Okay. I mean, I think that's something we all have to relearn, because we literally have to cram these things for our OSCE exams. We have 10 questions and sometimes we don't even wait for them to answer what is your name, what is the issue. Like, we just want them to tick those marks. So I think that is something different that we need to understand.
That brings me to active listening. In the OSCE, there's something called active listening. If you're just throwing questions at the patient, the examiner is like, okay, you have the question, but you don't have the style. So active listening is very important. If you ask the patient a question and if the patient answers and you ask that question again, it's not going to look good. So you really need to focus. You're having a conversation with the person. Yes. So there's so much.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Okay, with the curriculum in Nigerian medical schools, how do you advise students to go about externships? Because this seems to be important in getting residency placements in the US. Another question similar to that is, are observerships and clinical electives necessary?
Yes, very, very important for the US. Very important, even for Canada, but Canada is changing into like they're accepting just specialists. So if it's the US, your electives are very important. Your externships are very important. Like you have access to more programs because every program has a requirement. They might say you need clinical experience. Some might say you don't need. But think about it. Even if you don't need, won't they still pick someone that has over someone that doesn't have? So yes, they are very important.
Of course. Okay. Thank you so much. So externships are important, clinical observerships. Does it matter if these externships are, if they're in the US, or can we do externships in Nigeria, in other hospitals in Nigeria?
It's called United States Clinical Experience, USCE. So it's not NSCE.
Okay.
So it has to be in the US.
Okay.
Yes.
Of course. Okay. Thank you for that. Another question is okay, a lot of people are asking if this will be recorded. This live will be up on our Instagram page, on Pendical's Instagram page, pardon me. So you can always go back and replay and watch this. And if you have more questions, Dr. Health and More is available on all of her social media. You can reach out to her, you can contact her, reach out to Progenie Cerebrum. You can, once a month you can have all the freebies that they offer, so take advantage of that.
And
but
you can consult.
I don't.
Sorry, you can. On my website.
What was that?
On my website, there is a consultation.
Okay.
Part. So if you want just a 1 hour consultation to talk about your career, I do that, but for a fee. But if you don't want, that's if you want a personalized.
Of course.
You share it once a month. It's $25 for 1 hour. It's on my website. Just pay, then book it. Or else, if you want it free, then just wait for Progenie Cerebrum's monthly meeting.
Okay, so guys, you can have one-on-one consultations with Dr. Health and More on her website, or you can go to Progenie Cerebrum. Someone keeps asking why you took all the exams. That was the first thing we talked about. So in the replays, you can watch all of that and hear her answers. Dr. Health and More, I must say, we really appreciate you taking your time to speak to us today. It's been nothing short of enlightening, and thank you so much for doing this. I don't know if there's any last words or anything you want to say.
Okay, my final words to every person watching this video is, you don't have to be scared of any licensing exams. As Nigerians, we were well trained. We have very strong people. We're very smart. We can cope with any situation. We can adapt. So you don't really have to fear. Just go in there. If you want to go in without tutorials, fine. If you need tutorials, I'm here. But we can do it. I did it. People have done it before me, and you can do it too.
Yes, we can do it. I mean, remember, I think that determination is one of your favorite words because you've been saying it a lot. So, guys, if you believe, I mean, we're going to do some aspire to Perspire now. If you believe it, you can achieve it, guys. And with the right help, it is important to get help for people who have done this, which is why we have Progenie Cerebrum and Health and More tutorials. Remember, you can always reach her on her socials. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Let's tell Dr. Health and More thank you. Let's tell her thank you in the chats, everyone. She has really, I mean, this has been lots of weeks in planning, and she actually decided, to give us 1 hour of her time to answer all of our questions. So thank you so much, ma'am, for helping us understand some of these things.
Thank you so much for having me, Technical. I'm grateful to your team. You guys are awesome.
It was our pleasure.
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Bye. Have a lovely night. Thank you, ma'am.
You too. Bye.
Okay, guys, that was an amazing session with Dr. Health and More. There's a lot of sessions on our JAPA series on Pendical's website. Remember to check them out. A lot of your questions have already been answered then. Remember that you can also contact Dr. Health and More on her socials and Progenie Cerebrum with their freebie once a month. This IG live session is going to be on the page, so you can always come back and replay it. I hope we all have a nice night. Thank you, Pendical, for this. Thank you for the opportunity. Remember, I am Rose, 600 level, University of Ilorin. Remember to subscribe. We have a lot of great content on our YouTube channels. You can sign up for our newsletter too from Pendical Magazine. Follow all of our socials for all the information so you don't miss anything. Till next time, have a great night, everyone. Bye.